Good morning. It's morning time here in South Africa, and I just got home from a session on in a hyperbaric oxygen chamber, and it was yeah, very interesting because I'm always trying out new things. What can we do to detox the body to enhance our health? And that was actually a good one, so I think I'll do that one again. But on the way there, I was listening to a podcast, and because again, I'm always listening to, information on health and how we can improve our health. And this was now, again, a fairly well-known doctor in LA being interviewed by another well-known woman that is all about detox and health in LA. And I couldn't believe my ears because what they were suggesting, well, the doctor kept saying, we don't want to overwhelm our clients. And so everything was slightly modified. Hi, Eureka. Hi, Hannah. Everything was slightly modified and toned down. And I've heard that so many times now of doctors. I've had several doctors contact me, doctors, practitioners contact me and say, Alex, I want to learn from you. And obviously they always poke around, does she actually have enough knowledge? Does she know what she's talking about? Does it correlate with science? No, my stuff does not correlate with science. And by the way, it's not just me, as we know. I mean, Hannah, you speak the same language. There's a lot of people speaking my same language. And our stuff does not correlate with science. That is the point. But what so strikes me is that doctors and practitioners alike, they keep their patients small by insinuating that they cannot tell the full truth because that would be overwhelming. And so instead of telling the full truth, they give you half a truth and they make it seem okay to cut corners or to not go quite as far. I don't know if that's their thinking, but that is what they're saying. And so I was actually challenging the one doctor and saying, but that's as if, you've got a child that is a genius, and because it's too much hassle to bring out the genius and nurture the genius in the child, you simply make the child believe that he's not a genius, and you keep him normal, and you sort of, just push him into the normal way of doing things or the normal way of thinking about things, which, by the way, happens a lot because every child is a genius. There's a genius in all of us. That is why we are here, because our particular voice, our particular eros that flows through us, and eros is not sexual, eros is the creation of life, is life itself that flows through us. That is why we're here, to allow that. But I digress. So I was listening to this podcast and thinking, wow, so much half-truths that are being dished out, down to this doctor was saying, yeah, for some people, it's a little bit too hard to go on a juice fast. Not that a juice fast is the beginning and end of it all by any means. A juice fast is, if anything, a gentle beginning that can go very wrong unless you are doing enemas and assisting the body in detoxing in other ways. But so here he was saying you can't detox the body too quickly, or people too quickly, and some people don't do well on a juice fast, and so we tell them to have juice until late afternoon, and then to have a nice big meal of protein. And I'm thinking, wow, like that's gonna do it, and of course at the same time, of course, if you're coming off a typical unconscious meat eating, dairy eating, even vegan junk food eating diet, if you go on that protocol, of course you're going to start feeling better. But at the same time, you are not getting near where you need to go. You're not even scratching the surface Because what I keep seeing is that even with my fasting, you know, I mean, yes, now, of course, like I've come a long way and I have scratched surfaces, but like my first 40 days of fasting barely scratched the surface. And then there was the other follow-up work. So do you see how doctors and practitioners, most of them, and I guess it's because most of them haven't experienced it for themselves, keep us small. They keep us actually functioning maybe just about normal, because what's considered normal is actually below normal. So we have, that is how far we have lowered our standards for health. And I feel like the world needs to know, because it's fine if you know you have choice. But when you don't know, then people hear that and they think, oh, that's okay. It's okay to detox in that way. And it's not, you know, and that is why there's so many people, especially on this group, because I see the messages that you send or the messages that you write when you join the group. So many of you that have been, and I was one of them, so many of us that have been on this path for, you know, 15 years, 10 years, 5 years, the lucky ones, that have tried everything, and we get a little bit better and then we get worse, get a little better, get worse. And it's because we're not doing the radical work that we are meant to be doing. So that was just my little rant and reminder for the day, because it is so easy, you know, and I get those messages too every day. People that say, but do we, hi Gabriel, Satnam to you, do we really have to take things that far? Yes, we do, you know. Obviously it's like anything. It's like, what do you want out of life? Do you want to have everything and you can have it all? Then you have to do what is necessary to have it all. If you just want to kind of sort of feel better, you know, off and on, then maybe go half the way. But I want to give you all the information so that you know exactly where you stand and what is possible. And then you can still choose. Like I also chose in many ways, I chose to take it fairly slow because of all my emotional issues, because of my past history. And so I took it gentle. And that's completely fine, because, you know, it's like, what's the saying? The slow turtle wins the race, or whatever, you know what I mean? And so by all means, take it slow, but know that there is a long way to go. There is, and it's not to see it as a burden, but to see it that there is so much more to be drawn out of life. There is still so much vitality. I mean, I remember when I hit 40 and I was feeling so utterly, I felt old. I was looking at myself and thinking, oh my God, now you're 40, you know, like your life's over pretty much. Plus I was so sick. So it really felt like, okay, scratch your youth off, you know. And now I feel like I am having back the youth that in many ways I never really had, because I was never really well. So anything is possible at any age, you know, and I'm not by any means saying that at 44, almost 44, I'm old, not at all. Like now I feel like, you know, I feel like I'm 12 going on 24. So I will leave you with that, and yeah, I'll speak to you again. Whenever I have something to say, I hop on here, and if you guys are on, great, and if not, you can watch it later. And I'll leave you with all my love. Bye.